Here we have, this is called the Gustine job, going to Gustine, California. These were 90-foot long rail cars we cut down. I think they're right about 52 feet long. You can see where we cut them at the diagonal right here. The abutments are going to go back, sitting right about here. That's where the bearing plate's at. And then the abutment is concrete. It goes back up and around. But we cut it down. These are TL1 guardrails. We call them the GV10 package. Pretty simple. You can see how on most of our guardrails we make this nice little return flare here. That way if a vehicle hits it, it doesn't come straight onto that tube. We usually use like a W6 by 15 or a W6 by 16 post. You can see those arms that we put on there. Those are like a C10 arm on there. So it's 3 rail cars side by side. You can see we cleaned off the deck. These rail cars have what we call a raised side sill. So this C channel here, we had the same thing over here. So we just trimmed that C channel down. See that? That way it makes a nice flush deck. So that car goes next to this one. These are some extra parts that go with it. I'll show you that in a minute. So on this one, both those side sills have been trimmed down. And this steel plate here, well, we write down the orientation. So this is the A end. That's actually the B end on this one, so that one gets flipped around. All these cars get marked A and B. That way when they go to set them up, we know which one goes where. And this is the last piece here, identical to the first one. Got the C channel, the post, the return flares on there. Nice clean deck. Alright, so it looks pretty good. So let me show you a little bit about these extra parts. Now this particular bridge project, we didn't design it, but it's a pretty good design. This plate here, this plate's designed to sit on top of, so the concrete will come up to here, and this is just going to join, it's going to bridge the gap. There's like maybe a 2-inch gap or so between the bridge and the concrete, so this is just going to cover that gap up. Alright, these steel plates here, you can see there's quite a few of them. What those are going to do, one option that we do is whenever you butt these 2 cars together, there's going to be a bit of a gap in between each car. We usually put a continuous steel plate, but on this one the engineer wanted to use these smaller plates. So they're just smaller individual plates. They go right into, you can see we trimmed this this deck off here. You can see it's trimmed off. Then right over here you can see it's kind of raised up a little bit. Then it's ground down nice and smooth, raised up. So those plates are going to sit just right inside here, go across to tie that together. Okay, so that's what those steel plates are. Here we have these pedestals. Those pedestals there, you can see one side is has some slots in them. The other side is solid plate. Those tubes, where those go, those are going to go right here. So with those 2 cars butted up, well, that pedestal comes down, and it's going to be at the same elevation as that bearing plate. So it'll just go right up underneath there, just to help stabilize the cars from rocking too much. That's what those are for. There's a total of 4 of them. Next piece is are these steel plates here. Those steel plates, we already cut them exactly perfectly to length. Those plates will actually go in between the 2 rail cars. Let me back up some more. That flat bar is going to go from here all the way across to the next, so you can have the next rail car is going to sit just like this, right? There may be a little bit of a gap there. Sometimes you can't butt them up perfectly tight. So that steel plate's going to go right here, just so just so there's no gap in between these two rail cars. This void is going to be filled up with concrete, kind of a different design that we haven't seen before. Those holes there are going to have an all thread going from this rail car to the next one. Bolt those two cars together, get it nice and tight. Put the flat bar inside here, weld the flat bar to this, and then they're going to fill this up with concrete. Okay, so that's what that flat bar is, and that's it's like a 3/4 inch flat bar. It's pretty thick stuff. And then the last piece we have over here are these tubes. These are 4x4 tubes. You can see we have a whole stack of them. With those, where those go, those are going to tie right up under here. You can see that this is that's an I-beam underneath there. So between that rail car and the next one, so that I-beam, that other I-beam, the other rail car is going to sit here. That tube is going to go right up underneath there. It's going to butt up underneath here, going to get welded to this, go all the way across to the next rail car and get welded to the next rail car. That's going to help lock these two cars together as well. Okay, so that's it. Turned out pretty nice. This is it's been sandblasted and painted already. This is our typical boxcar brown. Okay, let's go take a look at this one more time. Nice return up there on that guardrail. Nice and straight. Looks pretty good. Oh, this angle here. This angle here, they're gonna fill this up with some other kind of material. I don't remember if it's gravel or rock or what they're doing, but this is just to help to retain the gravel. That's a big fat angle. I'm not sure why the engineer called for a 3/4 inch thick angle, but that's what they wanted. That's what we put on here. So they'll have gravel or something filling up that area over here. But it looks really good. That's it.